A client recently asked me my opinions, my feelings about euthanasia. Her cat, who I've worked with quite a few times over the years, she's had a whole family of kitties, and I've worked with most of them. Um, Her kitty has cancer, and they thought she'd been, I don't know about misdiagnosed, but she had a UTI last year. It turns out she has more than that. She has advanced cancer, which is pretty much everywhere. And she hasn't been eating. She can't hold her food down, but she's still, happy and purring and wants kisses. And so they're thinking of euthanasia, but just don't know, it's hard. So I'm going to tell you a euthanasia story. First of all, I talk to lots of animals about whether they're ready to go and if they want help. And they always have an answer that I trust. They always know. They'll say no. They'll say yes, in 4 days. They'll show me days. Um, but this story is a little different. This is my dog, Elika, my heart dog, who was misdiagnosed twice and finally with kidney something, something. Anyway, it turns out age-related kidney something. What is that? Apparently it's nothing. And when I finally went to the right doctor, she had cancer, bladder cancer, two different kinds. One kind that was kind of treatable, one that wasn't. She had two different kinds of tumors. So I asked him, he said she had like a month to 3 months or something. I don't remember. She lived like 6 or 7 months happily after that. Um, Reiki helps. And also she was just tough, a tough little critter. But I asked him, will she die on her own? And I had a dog years prior, um, my mother dog, my heart mother dog, who died on her own. Although now looking back, I wish that I had helped her. She suffered unnecessarily the last week of her life. So he told me no, she would not, Alika would not die on her own. He said, you'll know. You're gonna have to help her. Okay. So the tricky part was that a few times I thought, oh, it's time. She was so sick. At one point, she stopped eating. She didn't eat for 2 days and she didn't drink water. And I said, okay, this is probably it. And I took her in the car to her favorite place, which was a property that used to be in the family. I drove her there. I have a video of it, of her walking, and then she starts trotting along, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and she almost fell down. And then she stood back up, and I brought a meal with meat and water because it was very rustic. And I gave her the food. She ate 2 meals. I brought 2 meals and drank a whole bowl full of water, and she was fine. She was fine. And I thought she was ready to leave. Another time, I thought she was ready to leave. Another time, and we chose where she wanted to be buried on the property, and then I had somebody come dig a hole. She lived for a couple months after that. She wasn't ready. So it's tricky. They can be really bad, and you think, and it wasn't time. It wasn't time. So when it was time, that was right. I knew. Now I didn't ask my own dog because I didn't trust what I would hear. I asked someone else, a communicator I know. She's not a professional. She picks things up, but she knew Alika, and she wasn't. It was not a clear reading. It just wasn't. But I was clear. She'd been extremely ill during the night, like shaking uncontrollably. She was so sick in the morning, and I went, Alika, it's time. So the vet came. I won't go through the whole thing. He came, and emerged to the house. It's my equine vet as well. Well, so he's got a traveling thing, right? You don't bring your horse in. And he came, and my friend, the communicator, is a friend of mine, was with me as well. And we talked to Alika, and she passed. And with her last breath, I started crying, and I said, I just killed my dog. See. And before anybody could say, no, you didn't, no, you did, before anything else could happen, I felt her essence. You can call it spirit, you can call it whatever. I'd never experienced this before. And this is just like 5 years ago. Okay. Her essence left, and I felt like a whoosh past my face. Whoosh. It's like a wind. And as she left, she said loudly and clearly, Thank you. So then I was like, oh, okay, it was time. So I can help other people talking to their animals and determining when the time is. But I want you to know you talk to your own animal, hire somebody, me, somebody else to talk to them and find out. They know. And she was not upset that I had helped her pass. She was very grateful because it was time. Okay. So I'm going to share a bunch of stories with you. I'm going to share about my horse I had to put down and other people's animals, what they've told me, and how you know it's time or it's not time. Okay. So that people can get a little bit more comfortable with this heart-wrenching decision. It's very hard. But animals in the wild, when they're really sick, they just go off and die. They just stop eating. Or they get eaten by some other creature. Nature takes care of it. I don't know for a fact, but I don't think animals suffer for long periods of time in the wild. So we have a responsibility. Anyway, I'm going to share more stories about that. But that's the story about Alika, my heart dog, who thanked me for helping her. Okay, I'm Pam Sorellis, Winged Horse Healing, and I'll talk to you again soon.